Chapter 51, Soul of Space. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Jiang Yuochen transformed genuine Qi to his right arm, clenched his fist and lowered it to the ground. Boom! The ground shook with a thundering sound. Then there appeared a pit with a diameter of 3 meters. Then the pit was surrounded by innumerable cracks. By observing the destruction to the ground, Jiang Yuochen could almost estimate his current power. He could burst out the strength of 78 bulls without the dragon and elephant prajna palm. If he used the palm, he could explode the strength of 88 bulls. No one had ever exceeded the extreme power of the strength of 100 bulls at the completion of Yellow Realm before. Until now, no one could exceed the extreme power of the strength of 100 bulls at the Yellow Realm. However, as long as the body of martial arts was incredible, his power was infinitely close to the strength of 100 bulls, even more than 100 bulls. In his last lifetime, the strongest explosion of his power at the Yellow Realm had reached 94 bulls. And this number was still invincible at the Yellow Realm 800 years later. Since he had reached the completion of the Yellow Realm, it was very difficult for him to improve his power. Each time he improved by one more bull was more challengeable. In this case, he could defeat the warriors of Yellow Board easily. He decided to test the power of the Vessel of Spirit. The most remarkable of the 36 meridians, the Vessel of Spirit, connected the body and soul. For the average warrior, the soul was quite mysterious. It indeed existed, but invisible and untouchable. Jiang Yuochen sat with his legs crossed, regulated his breath and calmed himself to feel the power of sacrifice in his chi pool. Separate from the power of blood, the power of sacrifice was like a bloody river moving through the Qi pool. It was the Vessel of Spirit. Boom! As the genuine Qi was embedded into the blood vessel of Spirit, it started to shake and broke through the head. It looked like a red light column of 21 to 24 meters in height. An illusory soul image identical to Jiang Yuochen appeared ahead. It was completely surrounded by the crimson light and seemed to regulate his breath as well. Certainly, this scene was only seen by Jiang Yuochen. The other people could only see Jiang Yuochen sitting with his legs crossed. They could not see the bloody beam and illusory soul image at all. Influenced by the power of soul, the whole courtyard began to gust waves of chilly wind, howling across the courtyard. It was amazing to connect with the soul. Typically, only warriors reaching the Heaven Realm could separate the soul from the acupoint. He could do it at the completion of the Yellow Realm. The Vessel of Spirit connected Jiang Yuochen's body with soul. The longer the Vessel of Spirit was, the further the soul could be separated from the body. There was no limitation for warriors in the Heaven Realm. Jiang Yuochen's present cultivation was far from enough. His Vessel of Spirit was only 24 meters long, which meant that his soul could only be 8 meters away from the body. It was known that the soul of a warrior at the Heaven Realm could only be 150 kilometers away from the body. Only in thought could one see what was happening several kilometers away. Meanwhile, warriors in the Heaven Realm also ran genuine Qi to refine their soul, make it stronger, and to become a martial soul. If they ran the power of the martial soul, they could operate things in the universe and borrow spiritual Qi from the universe to attack enemies. Therefore, every warrior at the Heaven Realm was counted as one of the mythical beings of martial arts. It was obvious that Jiang Yuochen had become strong enough to reach the completion of Heaven Realm. He had cultivated his practice and his soul into the martial soul. Furthermore, the rare Thunderbolt martial soul. It could transform the spiritual Qi to the power of Thunderbolt in the universe. This meant that Jiang Yuochen could operate spiritual Qi in the universe and exert the power of the Thunderbolt. He could only operate the spiritual Qi within 24 meters with accuracy. If further than this, it would be difficult for him to operate Weapon of Thunderbolt. Jiang Yuochen operated spiritual Qi in the universe as in his last lifetime, trying to exert the power of the Thunderbolt. It failed. What a pity. Why was this? Although he had been reborn 800 years later, the power of soul was not reduced. But why couldn't he exert the power of Thunderbolt? Jiang Yuochen was lost in thought. Suddenly, something occurred to him. Did this mean that the change of his sacred mark to the space-time sacred mark had also changed his martial soul? In order to make sense, Zhang Yuochen summoned the Blackie out of the yin-yang wooden graph and told it about his doubt. Warriors at the completion of the Yellow Realm were able to separate the soul from the body and refine the soul to the martial soul. Are you kidding? Blackie did not believe in Zhang Yuochen's words. Then, it added, according to my knowledge, only warriors in the completion of Heaven Realm could practice the soul into the martial soul. Do you have any common sense? Zhang Yuochen did not explain and sat with legs crossed to implant genuine chi into the vessel of spirit. Boom! A 24-meter light column of red light rushed from the top of Zhang Yuochen's head. The illusory soul image, indistinguishable from Zhang Yuochen, was suspended in the light column. Soul separation. Other warriors indeed could not see illusory soul image of Zhang Yuochen, but Blackie's observation was better than the normal one and saw the illusory soul image suspending in the light column. Your soul could reach the realm of separate soul. How could it be? Blackie's eyes held a shimmery shine. You must have secrets. It's impossible for normal people to practice the martial soul at the completion of the Yellow Realm. Zhang Yuochen said, it's none of your business. Just tell me what my martial soul is. You have developed the space-time sacred mark, so it's soul of space. Blackie shook his head and felt that the talents Zhang Yuochen had were too freakish to be accepted. Soul of space. Zhang Yuochen repeated. Blackie said, take out the mystery of time and space and turn to page 3, where there were introductions to the soul of space. Zhang Yuochen immediately took out the mystery of time and space and turned to page 3, on which 4 ancient characters were written, soul of space. The third page was full of dense words, documenting introductions to the soul of space. Zhang Yuochen took the whole afternoon to memorize the content. However, his comprehension level was less than 1/10 of the content. After practicing the soul of space, I can start to practice space domain and the mark of time. Zhang Yuochen closed the mystery of time and space, lost in deep thought. Blackie said, young man, I have to warn you that your present cultivation is too weak. Your genuine chi storage could not support space domain at all. And you cannot condense mark of time either. You'd better wait to practice space domain until you have broken the Black Realm. Zhang Yuochen said, don't remind me, I understand this truth. The power of time and space is too esoteric. My present cultivation is too weak to control the two forces. Zhang Yuochen took back the mystery of time and space and said, I won't practice space domain until I've broken the Black Realm. My cultivation has reached the completion of the Yellow Realm. But I've only practiced 2 palms of the Dragon and Elephant Prajna palm. It is time to practice the 3rd palm. The balance must be reached between practicing skills and practicing martial techniques. Only the successful practice of the 3rd palm of the Dragon and Elephant Prajna palm could improve the power of the Dragon and Elephant Prajna palm to the superior class of human stage. Over the next few days, Zhang Yuochen spent most of his time practicing the 3rd palm of the Dragon and Elephant Prajna palm. He also spent a lot of time practicing the inscription of strain type and the inscription of condensing. He wanted to complete the learning of all 8 fundamental inscriptions of space as soon as possible. If he grasped the 8 fundamental inscriptions of space, he could refine the spatial ring to have large internal space. If he sold the space ring, he could get rid of his financial dilemma. Then, he would have many silver coins to buy pills and improve his martial cultivation quickly. He had used all his savings to buy the weapon refining stove. He was as poor as a church mouse and could not take out a single silver coin. If he could not grasp the 8 fundamental inscriptions of space in time, he would not be able to afford blood pills either. One day, the 9th Commandery Princess visited the Jade Palace again. She rushed to Zhang Yuochen the moment she saw him practicing palm in the garden and said, 9th brother, are you in the mood to practice palm? Don't you know that Lin's tender heart is engaged to the 7th brother? Zhang Yuochen retracted the internal genuine chi, stopped and asked, who's Lin? The 9th Commandery Princess was at a loss for words for a moment. Then she said, she is, of course, your cousin, Lin Ningshan. A little bird just told me that our father and the queen have recently agreed and decided the engagement will be held in the Red Autumn Festival next year. Oh, Zhang Yuochen nodded and walked to his place without emotion. Hey, what's wrong with you? Don't you feel sad at all about Ningshan's future marriage to the 7th brother? From that day, you will call her sister-in-law. The ninth commandery princess chased after him. Zhang Yuochen changed into new martial clothes with ice fire killing armor inside and said, "Is it any business of mine that a member of the Lin family will be engaged to the seventh prince? Why should I feel sad? Now that you are here, let's go to the Yellow Fighting Palace again." "Why are we going to the Yellow Fighting Palace? Could it be?" An amazing expression appeared on the ninth commandery princess's pretty face. She covered her mouth with her fine, slim hands, and said in a trembling voice, "I heard that you have been in the Savage God's Pool for 24 days. Could it be that your cultivation has reached the completion of the Yellow Realm?" Zhang Yuochen nodded with a smile. "What a freak! How could your practicing be so fast?" The ninth commandery princess was stunned with her beautiful eyes wide open. It was known that she was a martial arts genius who had reached the medium state of the Yellow Realm at 16. But she felt herself like a mediocrity compared with Zhang Yuochen. Riding in an ornate carriage, Zhang Yuochen and the ninth commandery princess left the palace to go to the Yellow Fighting Palace. The Yellow Fighting Palace was a good place to earn money. If one were to have 10 winning streaks, he would receive 100 million silver coins as a reward. Such a great number of silver coins was enough for Zhang Yuochen to buy a lot of pills. He could make a breakthrough to the Black Realm. He could learn the 8 fundamental inscriptions of space gradually. A watched pot never boils. The more anxious he was, the harder to draw inscriptions. Finally, "Ninth Prince, I have been waiting for you to go out." "You won't be so lucky this time." Han Qingluo walked out from behind the wall, with her hands behind her and stared at Zhang Yuochen's carriage riding away with a chilling smile on her face. Han Qingluo, one of the 4 disciples of the queen, followed Zhang Yuochen and the ninth commandery princess's carriage to the Yellow Fighting Palace. The moment she saw them leave the palace,